There comes a point in life when you begin to notice that something invisible is shaping your choices, influencing your confidence, and quietly determining how far you believe you can go, and that something is often a set of limiting beliefs deeply rooted in your subconscious mind, a concept widely explored by Joseph Murphy, whose teachings emphasize that what you repeatedly think and feel eventually becomes your reality, whether you're aware of it or not. And these beliefs are not formed overnight, but are built gradually through experiences, environment, upbringing, and repeated exposure to certain ideas, especially during your early years when your mind is most impressionable. And over time, these thoughts harden into assumptions that feel like facts, even when they're not true, leading you to doubt your abilities, underestimate your potential, and hesitate when opportunities arise. And the most challenging part is that many people never question these beliefs because they feel so natural and familiar, as if they are simply part of who they are. But the truth is that these mental patterns can be changed once you become aware of them and intentionally choose to replace them with thoughts that support growth, confidence, and success. And this process begins with observation, by paying attention to your inner dialogue and recognizing the negative or limiting statements you repeat to yourself, such as, "I'm not good enough," "I can't do this," or "this isn't meant for me." And instead of accepting these thoughts as truth, you start to challenge them by asking whether they are based on facts or just past conditioning. And as you continue this practice, you create space for new, empowering beliefs to take root, such as "I am capable," "I can learn and improve," and "opportunities are available to me." And while this shift may not happen instantly, consistency is what makes the difference. Because every time you choose a more empowering thought, you are slowly rewiring your subconscious mind, strengthening new neural pathways that support a more confident and proactive version of yourself. And as your beliefs begin to change, your behavior naturally follows, leading you to take actions you may have once avoided, speak with more confidence, and pursue goals with a renewed sense of determination. And this transformation is not about becoming someone entirely different, but about uncovering the potential that has always been within you, waiting to be expressed. And when you truly understand that your beliefs are not fixed, but flexible, you gain a sense of control and responsibility over your life that is both empowering and motivating, encouraging you to step forward with courage, embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and move closer to the life you genuinely desire. As you begin to understand how limiting beliefs operate beneath the surface of your awareness, you also start to recognize that they do more than influence your thoughts. They shape your habits, your emotional responses, and even the risks you are willing to take in life. And this realization can be both eye-opening and empowering because it reveals that many of the barriers you once believed were external are actually internal patterns that can be changed with consistent effort and intention. A principle strongly reflected in the teachings of Joseph Murphy, who emphasized that the subconscious mind accepts what you repeatedly impress upon it, whether those impressions are positive or negative. And because of this, the process of transformation requires more than occasional motivation. It demands repetition, emotional engagement, and a clear vision of the person you want to become. And one of the most effective ways to begin this process is through deliberate mental conditioning, where you consciously choose thoughts that align with your goals and reinforce them daily until they begin to feel natural. And this can include affirmations, visualization, and mindful awareness of your reactions in everyday situations, especially during moments of doubt or uncertainty, because those moments are where your old patterns are most likely to resurface. And instead of allowing those patterns to take control, you pause, acknowledge the thought, and intentionally redirect your focus toward a more constructive perspective. And while this may feel uncomfortable at first, that discomfort is actually a sign that change is taking place, because you're stepping outside of familiar mental habits and creating new ones that better serve your growth. And over time, this practice strengthens your ability to respond rather than react, giving you greater control over your decisions and actions. And as your internal dialogue becomes more supportive and encouraging, you begin to notice subtle, yet powerful shifts in your behavior, such as increased confidence in social situations, a greater willingness to pursue opportunities, and a stronger sense of resilience when facing challenges. And these changes, though gradual, build upon each other and create momentum that propels you forward, helping you move beyond the limitations that once held you back. And it is important to remember that this journey is not about perfection, but about progress, because there will be moments when old beliefs try to reassert themselves. But instead of viewing those moments as setbacks, you can see them as opportunities to reinforce your new mindset and strengthen your commitment to growth. And by consistently choosing thoughts that empower rather than limit you, you begin to align your subconscious mind with your conscious goals, creating a sense of harmony that supports both your personal and professional development. And as this alignment deepens, you develop a clearer sense of purpose, a stronger belief in your abilities, and a greater willingness to take bold, meaningful action, ultimately allowing you to step into a version of yourself that is more confident, capable, and fully aligned with the potential that has always existed within you. As this transformation continues to unfold, you begin to notice that your perception of reality itself starts to shift, because the way you interpret situations, respond to challenges, and interact with others is no longer filtered through the lens of doubt and limitation, but through a growing sense of confidence and possibility. And this shift is not accidental, but the direct result of consistently feeding your subconscious mind with thoughts that align with growth and success, a concept deeply rooted in the philosophy of Joseph Murphy, who taught that whatever you impress upon your subconscious mind will eventually express itself in your outer world. And as you continue to practice this mental discipline, you develop a heightened awareness of your internal state, allowing you to catch negative patterns before they take hold and replace them with intentional, constructive thinking. And this awareness becomes one of your greatest strengths because it gives you the ability to remain centered even in uncertain or challenging circumstances, and instead of reacting impulsively or falling back into old habits, you begin to respond with clarity, patience, and purpose. And this new way of thinking gradually reshapes not only your mindset, but also your identity, as you start to see yourself as someone who is capable, resilient, and deserving of success. And this identity shift is powerful because it influences every decision you make, from the goals you set to the actions you take each day. And as your confidence grows, you become more willing to step outside of your comfort zone, take calculated risks, and pursue opportunities that once felt out of reach. And although fear may still appear from time to time, it no longer has the same control over you, because you have built a foundation of belief that supports forward movement rather than hesitation. And this does not mean that challenges disappear, but rather that your relationship with them changes as you begin to view obstacles as opportunities for growth and learning rather than as signs of failure or limitation. And this perspective allows you to remain persistent even when progress feels slow, understanding that every small step contributes to a larger transformation. And as you continue to reinforce positive beliefs and take consistent action, your results begin to reflect your inner changes, creating a feedback loop that further strengthens your confidence and motivation. And over time, this process leads to a life that feels more aligned, purposeful, and fulfilling, where you are no longer held back by the invisible barriers of your past conditioning, but instead guided by a clear vision of what is possible. And this is where true potential begins to reveal itself, not as something distant or unattainable, but as something that has always been within you, waiting for the right mindset to bring it to the surface. And as you embrace this realization, you step more fully into your power, ready to create a life that reflects your highest aspirations and deepest sense of purpose.